Good morning, and welcome to the Agorà Intelligence Briefing. I'm Adam, and we start right away with the story of the day. NVIDIA begins full production of Grok 3 LPX, an accelerator built for inference. We talk it over with Nova.
Good morning, Adam. The date is August 24, 2026. NVIDIA announces full production of Grok 3 LPX, an interactive inference accelerator designed for agentic AI. It extends the Vera Rubin NVL72 platform, and Nabius stands as the first A-cloud to adopt it. The number that matters comes from the benchmarks, 344,000 output tokens per second on Gemma 431B, with 100,000 token context. According to artificial analysis, that is the fastest performance ever recorded for that model. NVIDIA claims responsiveness up to 4 times higher than the nearest competing platform. And Jensen Huang sets the course in a single sentence: inference becomes the growth engine of AI. The competitive axis shifts from training to inference. That is the real announcement.
Agents, Nova says. And before racing off at 34400 tokens per second, an agent needs something ancient, an identity. Leon helps us with that.
Exactly, Adam. Identity is the blind spot. On that same August 24, 2006, Okta made agents so generally available, bringing the open standard cross-app access into a product used by over 20,000 customers. The feature comes included in the core Okta SO plans at zero cost. Agent identity becomes a basic component, and the economic value shifts toward the Okta for iAgents tier, which discovers, onboards, protects, and governs every agent in the company. Then there is the gap according to the Okta iAgents at Work 2026 report, picked up by Security Brief. 34% of organizations apply the same security controls to iAgents that they apply to human workers. 2/3 leave them outside the policy perimeter, and most reach company data through static API keys. Companies deploy agents faster than they manage to govern them. Sooner or later, that gap presents the bill.
Governing the agents, then. And while companies write their own rules, the courts are writing the rules on the data that trains the models. Here is Atlas with the point.
The rules indeed, Adam. On August 23, 2026, TechCrunch pieced together the state of American case law on iModel training. At the center sits the decision by Judge William Alsup, who imposed on Anthropic a $1.5 billion settlement in favor of a group of authors whose works fed its models. The figure looks like a moral victory for the writers. The correct reading turns out to be more subtle. Alsup ruled the training itself lawful, and he sanctioned Anthropic for taking the books from illegal shadow libraries. Copyright law revolves around the copy, and it leaves out the use, the reading, the consumption of the work. Before, the industry treated everything as one big gray zone. This ruling introduces a sharp operational distinction. Reading is lawful, and stealing the copy remains stealing. The debate restarts from there.
$1.5 billion. Figures that take us straight to the markets, where this week NVIDIA earnings, Jackson Hole, and the iTrade all come together. Over to Cato.
Thanks for the assist, Adam. The consensus reads those 3 events as separate catalysts. That is the surface reading. They form a single structural node tying together capital, monetary policy, and the geopolitics of semiconductors. The market treats it as noise. It deserves the label of signal. The real question concerns who controls the production of advanced chips. A model trained today gets rebuilt by a competitor in months. An advanced fab takes years of construction and tens of billions in capital. Whoever owns the production line dictates terms to whoever holds the software, and the software alone. The precedent is exact. March 2000. Cisco Systems reaches the highest market capitalization on the planet, about $55 billion, a single name carrying an entire market thesis. When growth slowed, the entire NASDAQ paid the bill. History rarely repeats itself exactly, it often rhymes.
A single name carrying an entire thesis. It makes you want to shout bubble. So then, a foundation model for robots worth $3 billion after 18 months of existence. Let's ask Vega, our contrarian.
The consensus has the wrong frame, Adam, and I'll prove it to you. Generalist reached a $3 billion valuation after a round led by 8VC, TechCrunch reports on August 25, 2006. The fresh money comes close to $200 million, an extension of a $400 million Series B, led by Radical Ventures. The consensus looks at the valuation and concludes bubble. I look at the number that actually predicts the trajectory, the speed of learning. Gen 1.5 lets robots learn new tasks from videos of 3 to 12 seconds, according to the company. That metric compresses the marginal cost of teaching a new task down to nearly zero. Capital is pricing the cost trajectory of the next 3 years, far more than the product of today. The ChatGPT moment of robotics is already in the prices. The consensus gets the timing wrong, and timing is everything.
Robots that learn a task from a video of 3 to 12 seconds. 10 years ago, a similar prediction was made about radiologists. Vera, how did it turn out in the reading room?
Badly for the prediction, and well for the radiologists, Adam. In 2016, Geoffrey Hinton, Nobel laureate, and known as the godfather of AI, predicted that radiologists would be replaced by machines within 5 years. 10 years later, the evidence tells the opposite story. According to Ars Technica, as of August 2026, radiology professionals keep growing steadily, with an expected increase of 26% or more over the next 30 years. Hinton still caught something real. Doctors now have a silicon colleague that equals or surpasses them on defined tasks. At the start of 2026, about 3/4 of the 1,400i-enabled medical devices approved by the Food and Drug Administration belong to this field. Some tools write draft reports and make doctors more efficient. The work gets redesigned, and the people stay at the center of the room.
The work gets redesigned, Vera says. And now it is time for today's story, the one that always closes our table. Over to Saga.
And today's story, Adam, is precisely about work redesigned. In 2003, Walmart rolled out its route optimization software nationwide. The original architectural choice treat logistics as a data problem first, and as a problem of trucks and drivers second. Many retailers face transportation costs by adding vehicles, warehouses, and staff. Walmart took a different direction. It built an engine that recalculates routes, loads, and delivery sequences in near real time, inside a model that unifies demand, inventory, and fleet capacity in a single representation. Every variable that once lived in a separate system enters the same calculation, and the silos that slowed decisions down disappear. The logic looks obvious today. At the moment of the decision, it took courage, because it moved the investment from hardware to software. The result came fast, a story worth telling and worth replicating.
From hardware to software, Walmart's choice yesterday is the same bet NVIDIA is making today, with that 3,400 tokens per second inference we started from. The circle closes. That's all from Agorà Intelligence, the full text, with every source cited. Stay at agoraintelligence.com. Subscribe to the podcast. Every day at 11 the new episode waits for you. Thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.